What's the latest news in the Temecula Murrieta crazy housing market? Well, Temecula had an increase in inventory month over month for starters. In this monthly market report, I'm going to give you all the details. Here we go. Hi, Jessica Genung here with Active Realty and the Genung team. We make these videos every single week telling you everything that you need to know about buying and selling homes here in the Temecula Valley. If you are finding these videos helpful, we would love it if you would smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. The results are in, and we are going to go over what happened in our local housing market in May. This very strong seller's market continues. Springtime is always a busy time for the real estate market. The only difference with this year is that the spring market felt the same as the winter market in our business, at least. It was very busy throughout, and there was no lull in the winter followed by the spring ramp up like we see in a typical year. The main driving factor in the market is still the low interest rates. They are back under 3% for the most part, and I have been seeing some quotes that are back in the mid-2s, which is back near historic lows. At the end of this video, we're going to go over all of the stats, but one interesting change is that Temecula's single-family home inventory went up over 20% in May. In April, Temecula had 190 listings, and in May, there were 231, which is a 21% increase. But I certainly cannot say that this is the start of a trend after only a month. Murrieta's listings only went up 14 versus the prior month, and Menifee's actually decreased by 15. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. Months of supply is a stat that our industry talks about a lot because supply and demand is pretty much everything. 4 to 5 months of supply is considered an average market. 6 months or more is a buyer's market, which has not happened in a long time, and under 4 months of supply is a seller's market. In this extreme seller's market, we only have about 1 month of supply. In Murrieta, it's exactly 1 month, which means if no new houses came to the market, all of the available homes for sale would be gone in only 1 month. In Menifee, it's even less at 0.9 months of inventory. In Temecula, there is only 1.2 months of supply. Inventory is so low that we are having a hard time finding homes for our buyer clients that fit their needs. So maybe you could help us. We have several buyer clients that could use your help finding a home. These clients, they're ready to go. They're willing to pay top dollar for a home that fits their criteria. Maybe you own a home that you're considering selling for the right price, or maybe you know of a neighbor or a friend that might be listing their home soon. Here is what our clients are looking for specifically. Buyer number 1 is a really sweet family living in Orange County. They're a family of 3, soon to be 4, because they have 1 on the way. They're looking for a 3 to 4 bedroom. A 3 bedroom is okay if there's an additional space for an office, like a den or even a master retreat area. They're open to a 2-story, but they seem to have a single-story preference from what we've been looking at. They want a decent backyard. It doesn't have to be big. They don't need a pool. They just need a big enough yard for the kids to play in. They prefer Murrieta, but they are also interested in Temecula and Winchester within the section that's in Temecula Unified School District. They are pre-approved up to $625,000 with one of my preferred lenders, and they have excellent credit scores. Buyer number 2 is a retired couple that's moving from Idaho to be closer to their kids and grandkids. They've sold their Idaho home and they're not contingent, and they're going to be paying all cash for their new home. They're looking for a minimum 3 to 4 bedroom, minimum 3,000 square feet, and they want a minimum 1/4 acre lot. They also want a 3-car garage, not a tandem. They would like an established area with some privacy, and they've been focusing mostly on Murrieta, but they're also open to Temecula and Menifee. Their budget is $1.2 million and maybe even a speck more, judging by the homes they've been sending me lately. This is going to be their forever home, and so they're really looking for something that's dialed and nothing is catching their eye that is currently on the market. Feel free to call, text, or email me if you know of any homes that are not yet on the market that may fit what these clients are searching for. I would appreciate your help. Okay, so we are going to move on to the stats, starting with the median sales price. So just something to note, we are switching our methodology to using the median sales price. Before we were using the average sales price and average days on market, but now we're switching to median because we feel that it is probably going to be a more accurate representation of what's going on with the market. So sometimes like the average sales price could be very skewed by some bunch of really high sales or a bunch of really low sales, but median median just means in the middle. So 50% of sales are higher, 50% of sales are lower. So median sales price starting with Murrieta. So we're looking at May of this year, last month, versus May of 2020. So it went up this year 28.3% from 460,000 to 590,000. Moving on to Menifee, median sales price went up year over year 22% from 400,000, basically even, to 489,000. Moving on to Temecula, which had the largest increase at 29.6%. Back in May, you were likely to get a home around 507,000, and now that's going to cost you 150,000 more. It bumped up to 657,000. These are unprecedented increases. Okay, we're going to move on to median days on market. So in May of last year, it was 13 days on the market, still selling very quickly. Now in both Murrieta, Menifee, and Temecula, it is 5 days on market. So again, homes are just flying off the shelf. This is the quickest that I have ever seen in my career. So Menifee from 23 days to 5 days on market. Temecula, the average last May was 17 days, and it's also at 5 days on the market. So basically the property goes on the market. The typical cycle is like on a Wednesday or Thursday. They show it all weekend. They make a decision Monday or Tuesday. So all of those days are the 5 days on market. It's going very quickly. Okay, number of listings. This is the inventory shortage situation that we have been talking about for months and months. So number of listings in Murrieta is down 32.5% from May of last year. And I actually went ahead and did it from the prior month, so April of this year too, just to see kind of where the listing inventory was headed. So it was 208 listings in April in Murrieta compared with 222 in May. So inventory went up by 14 houses month over month. Number of listings in Menifee is also way down, 46.1% from 319 last year to 172 in last month. Month over month, so April, there was 187 listings, and Menifee's listing inventory actually decreased, like I mentioned earlier in the video. It decreased by 15 houses. Moving on to Temecula, this is actually the kind of interesting one to me, which, you know, Murrieta and Menifee is not that interesting. Those are all kind of just minor adjustments in the inventory. But Temecula's, well, month over month, so I looked at April versus May, went up by 41 houses. So there was 190 in April and there's 231 in May. But versus May of last year, which was 301, that is down 23.1%. So this increase, like I said, it's about a 20% increase month over month from April to May in Temecula housing inventory. Way too soon to know if this is a trend or not, but we're going to keep an eye on it. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, so lastly, we're going to go over closed sales, which has also been kind of interesting over the past few months, but although we have such low inventory, we have much higher closed sales numbers. So closed sales are up in Murrieta 84%, they're up 37% in Menifee, and they're up 54% in Temecula. So that wraps up the stats. Curious to know what you think of our crazy market, or are you trying to buy a home? Would love to hear your stories down in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching. See you next week.